messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue à tous nos amis français. Ladies and gentlemen, in attendance, boxing fans joining us across France on Canal Plus, and fights fans joining us around the world. We welcome Lyon, France for the main event of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and Fabrice Tiozzo.
Ce combat est régi par la WBC et son président José Suleiman, ainsi que les superviseurs, M. Henri Piguet et M. Houssine Ouichi, la Fédération française de boxe et son président, M. Restou.
This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council. President José Suleiman, supervisors Henri Piguet and Uichi Uchi, along with the French Federation of Boxing President Bernard Restou.
Les juges sont Victor Fernandez, John Green, Domatsu Tamiyama et l'arbitre José Cortez.
Presenting the judges, scoring this bout from ringside, Victor Cervantes, John Keane, Tamotsu Tomihara, and a referee in charge, Joe Cortez.
Et maintenant, l'événement majeur de ce 16 juin, le championnat du monde des mi-lourds WBC en 12 reprises de 3 minutes.
And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime with the main event of the evening, the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing.
Dans le coin bleu, en culotte noire représentant la France, il a été pesé à 79,50 kg. Son palmarès, 31 victoires, une défaite, 21 succès remportés avant la limite. Il est classé numéro 1 dans cette catégorie.
Presenting first the challenge on my right, fighting up, wearing black trunks and fighting out of and representing Lyon, France. He weighed in at 174 pounds. His outstanding record includes 31 wins, 1 loss, 21 wins coming by way of knockout, and he is ranked the WBC #1 light heavyweight contender.
Je vous demande d'applaudir Fabrice Tiozzo.
Who's welcome the challenger, Fabrice Tiozzo.
Il est dans le coin rouge, il porte une culotte rouge et blanche, il est originaire de Jamaïque. Il a été pesé à 79,1 kg. Son palmarès est de 48 victoires, 2 défaites, 1 nul, 36 succès obtenus avant la limite. Il a été 3 fois champion du monde. Il est champion en titre de cette catégorie de mi-lourd WBC.
And his opponent, the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks and fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada in the USA by way of Kingston, Jamaica. His weight 174.5 pounds. His record 48 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw with 36 wins coming by way of knockout. And here is the 3-time world champion and current WBC light heavyweight champion of the world.
Voici dans le coin rouge, McCallum, the body snatcher, l'arracheur d'organes.
Introducing Mike, the body snatcher, McCallum.
We went over the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times.
Well, welcome to Dueling Ring Announcers. Jimmy Lennon Jr. accompanied by the French ring announcer there. Interesting concept. This fight was being billed as Les Chocs or the Clash in France. Wildly pro-Tiozzo crowd, sellout crowd. 8,500. Fabrice Tiozzo, born in Saint-Denis, France, has lived in Lyon the past 5 years. He is worshipped over there. Considered the Muhammad Ali of France. He won the French title, the European title in this very arena, and now hopes to win the world title there, that being the WBC light heavyweight crown against Mike the body snatcher McCallum. In the red trunks, the challenger Fabrice Tiozzo of France in the black trunks.
Well, Steve, he's going to have his work cut out for him today. He's in with one of the oldest and sharpest masters of the game, Mike McCallum.
Mike McCallum trained 9 weeks in Big Bear with 83-year-old Hall of Fame trainer Eddie Futch, who could not be with McCallum for this fight. He's with Riddick Bowe preparing for the fight with Jorge Luis Gonzalez. McCallum's chief cornerman, the very capable Hedgeman Lewis.
But the fight has started out to be not too much of a feeling out round. There's a little more pressure here being applied by both fighters. They want to get to it and quick.
Tiozzo, typical European type fighter, Bobby, as you know, in that he stands straight up in front of his opponent, comes forward, he's tough, has a pretty good chin. He's been dropped 3 times, never knocked out. He's aggressive. He's a puncher, a hard hitter, good right hand, has a rudimentary hook off the jab, but outside of Virgil Hill, he's never really fought any real competition. So it's hard to get a true read on him.
Yeah, you can't really gauge him because he hasn't fought quality opponents or anyone that we feel he can be gauged by. So Virgil Hill beat him. You know, Virgil's beaten many men, including myself, by decision, but we'll see tonight.
Another one of those unknown quantities who has fought mainly in Europe. He has the type of style, though, that could play into McCallum's hands. He gets hit with right hands a lot and doesn't have particularly fast hands or fast feet. Defensively, pretty crafty. I've watched tapes of him, and he blocks punches pretty well. Here's a left hook by Tiozzo. Anything that comes even close from Tiozzo will get a roar from the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd's going to try and do their best to sway the judges and influence their fighter and their champion in the ring, try and give him a little boost. But Mike McCallum's been here so many times, this fight crowd business will be irrelevant. 17th world title fight for McCallum, 13-2-1 in championship affairs, only the second for Tiozzo. McCallum, a 3-time world champion. You all know he's a quality fighter, very steady. Quality corner as well. You won't get the flash from McCallum. Just great experience and an excellent ring technician. He's a good worker. He's very efficient. He doesn't waste a lot of energy. He makes his punches count. And right now he's getting the better of Tiozzo, but not by a tremendous amount. Final 20 seconds of the opening round, scheduled for 12. Of course, McCallum's trademarked the devastating body shots. McCallum just caught a pretty solid left hook himself. Coming off a roll, he's looking to counter, and Tiozzo came back and countered the counter with a nice left hook, and there, a right hand to follow. So a good end to the first round for Tiozzo. Round 2, the fight emanating from Lyon, France. Mike McCallum, the WBC light heavyweight champion, having some difficulty toward the end of round 1 against the challenger in the black trunks, Frenchman Fabrice Tiozzo. 31-1 with 21 knockouts. McCallum 48-2-1 with 36 KOs. Tiozzo has been training 3 hard months for this fight, mostly because he's had some difficulty with his weight. He's at 174.25 for this fight. Well, it looks like to be in good shape. If you look around Mike McCallum's midsection, you'll see there's a little bit of extra poundage there, or what seems to be loose and flabby. After all, he is somewhere near or over 40. We can't expect that even when he does get in shape that all of that will disappear. Father Time does terrible things to us fighters. Yes, you can relate to that, certainly. And Mike McCallum's always had that little paunch around his midsection, but it hasn't restricted him much. McCallum coming off the 7th round TKO over Carl Jones. Tiozzo going to the body, which prompts the crowd into high gear. Action's heating up very good here, Steve. They're keeping a very quick pace, especially for big men, light heavyweights. It's not a lightweight fight, but it's a lightweight pace. All of a sudden, a lot of punches being tossed out. People in France enormously confident that Tiozzo will win this fight, feeling McCallum is too old. Obviously, they haven't seen him like we've seen him. Big right hand, and Mike McCallum was rocked. He tripped back. His glove touched the ground. That is a knockdown. Fabrice Tiozzo scoring a knockdown. McCallum disputes it with referee Joe Cortez, but it is being ruled a knockdown. Meanwhile, blood streaking from the left eye of Tiozzo. And all of a sudden, here in the early going round 2, things getting awfully dramatic. They banged heads early on, and Tiozzo tapped his head as if to say, watch the head. But I'll tell you what, right now he's landing some good shots. That body shot right there hurt Tiozzo. Big round for Fabrice Tiozzo. And a right uppercut by
Tiozzo to the chin of McCallum.
I'll tell you what, the right hand is getting home more than I've ever seen it against Mike McCallum.
McCallum missing with that straight right hand. Tiozzo working on a 10-8 round here. Under 30 seconds to go in round 2. Joe Cortez calling time.
I think there's one of the laces on the gloves or something he was pointing to. I don't know what it was. Maybe a mouthpiece.
It looked like the mouthpiece, so they continue. Huge round for the challenger Fabrice Tiozzo in only his second world title fight, looking for his first championship. Tiozzo's only defeat against Virgil Hill in '93. Again, he rocks McCallum. As the bell sounds, they continue to fight.
I'll tell you what, Steve, great action. I'll tell you what, here you'll see some of the heated action. There's the big right hand that started to get Mike in a little trouble. His legs buckled and delay reaction. His glove hit the ground. That's a clean knockdown. Here you'll see some more of the action on the inside. Tiozzo's pressing him. Straight right hand right down the pipe. That's getting home time and time again.
You'll recall one of McCallum's 2 defeats was in Europe against Sambo Colombe back in 1988, so you wonder if it's having a haunting effect on him here in France. 2 good rounds in the books for the challenger Fabrice Tiozzo.
And I'll tell you what, too, regardless of what you say about Tiozzo or McCallum, talent-wise, sometimes age will just catch up.
And that's why the people in France were supremely confident going into this bout.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the right type of pace if you're fighting an older fighter that you want to keep. You want to keep the pressure on, see if his body will dwindle over the course of time. However, with a Mike McCallum, you also have the danger of getting beat up pretty good.
The thing that has really contributed to McCallum's success over the years is patience in the ring. And we'll see if that patience wins out tonight. Can he bounce back from 2 very difficult rounds? He has told us time and time again, McCallum, he doesn't go in himself looking for the knockout. He takes his time, but if the opportunity presents itself, he'll go for it. Meanwhile, Tiozzo continues to pretty much have his way to this point, but with McCallum, that can change quickly.
When the very first part of the first round opened up, you saw McCallum coming forward and doing the work, and now you see the exact opposite. The younger man trying to exude a bit of his strength on him.
McCallum paces himself early, midway through the 3rd, scheduled for 12. Then if he gets to the 8th or 9th, the money rounds, that's when a fighter like McCallum really goes to work. But he got rocked pretty good in the first couple of rounds, particularly round 2. There's the jab of McCallum looking to set up the right. Right uppercut by Tiozzo, just missed. The crowd booing and eyeing.
Tiozzo starting to miss some of those shots that were landing so easily in the 2nd round. This is where a fighter's condition will come into play, and the experience of Mike McCallum waiting it out and being smart may come into effect.
Body shots by Tiozzo, then he goes upstairs with a left. Tiozzo looking very crisp, very sharp here. Continues to press the attack, coming forward. Low blow warning from Joe Cortez to McCallum.
Yeah, it's a 2nd complaint we've seen out of Tiozzo, but only the 1st warning by Joe Cortez.
Joe Cortez out of Nevada. Those jabs being blocked nicely by Tiozzo.
Tiozzo appears to be less mechanical than most European fighters, giving a lot of movement, some head and shoulder movement. Works very well on the inside, too, which many of the European fighters haven't done yet.
Translators tell us from the Tiozzo corner that they feel McCallum is opening his mouth in such a way that he is having difficulty breathing. So we'll see if that factors in as we enter round number 4. There's the jab of McCallum looking to set up the right. Right uppercut by Tiozzo, just missed. The crowd booing and eyeing. Tiozzo looking very confident going into this bout. Tiozzo, 2 rounds, 2 defeats. Meanwhile, McCallum paces himself early, midway through the 3rd, scheduled for 12. Then if he gets to the 8th or 9th, the money rounds, that's when a fighter like McCallum really goes to work. But he got rocked pretty good in the first couple of rounds.
That would lead me to wonder what the altitude is there in Lyon, France, which I don't know offhand.
We are bringing you this fight from our Showtime studio in New York, the fight originating in Lyon, France. Another good start to the round for the challenger, Tiozzo. Tiozzo coming in with a left and a right combination.
Something that Tiozzo's doing, Steve, that's pretty effective is after he punches, he covers up pretty quickly. He's blocking many of Mike McCallum's counters, and he's watching and guarding his body pretty well.
Said coming in that he is a good defensive fighter. And meanwhile, we haven't seen much evidence of the body snatcher technique to this point.
You see that tattoo of the bear on his right pectoral muscle, Tiozzo.
That's his favorite animal. He says he likes to fight like a bear, and he has been pretty much mauling McCallum here as of now.
Well, he's living up to that part at least.
So at least one of the nicknames is coming true. Again, blood streaking from the left eye of Tiozzo from an earlier headbutt. But it doesn't seem to be affecting him. McCallum looks to be working on the eye, like that.
Yeah, McCallum also does a lot of twisting and turning. When he twists and turns off of some of those moves to make his opponent miss, he fires back and leans in. But right now, Tiozzo's been able to stop him.
McCallum likes to go to the body relentlessly, but it's been Fabrice Tiozzo who's been going to the body and the head, as you just saw. McCallum says, come on, bring it on.
Well, they both just exchanged low blows. They just have to say, here, no tit for tat. You take this, I'll take that.
Right hand just missed. A lead by Tiozzo. Tiozzo working the jab, doubling up. The chance of Fabrice from this pro-French crowd.
As I just find out from our studio, the altitude, sea level, not a factor there. So if there's a problem breathing, it could be lack of conditioning or a problem.
Tiozzo, as mentioned, has been living in Lyon the past 5 years. Much more accustomed to that environment, atmosphere. Coming up to 20 seconds remaining in round 4, a fight in which the challenger, Fabrice Tiozzo, is pretty much in command. Some good shots there registered by Tiozzo to end the round.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was a nice give and take in that exchange. Both fighters, actually the more effective of the two was McCallum, coming forward, landing stronger shots.
So we end with a good exchange. From his corner people, his corner said, no, you're not losing. And here we go into round number 5. I certainly think Tiozzo's winning.
For what it's worth, I have him just ahead by a point, 2 rounds to 2, with the knockdown being the big difference here.
Let's see if Tiozzo can pick up where he left off, and yes, he does, with a lead right hand that landed.
Tiozzo appears to be fading just a little bit more than Mike. Mike's always been slow and steady and deliberate. Tiozzo, bursts of energy a little more frequent, but seems to be slowing a little more. I could be wrong.
Fabrice Tiozzo in the black trunks from a very talented family, younger brother of former WBA super middleweight champion Chris Tiozzo. So Fabrice looking to become the 2nd world champion in his family. In his first title shot, he lost a decision to Virgil Hill a couple of years ago, but since that loss, he's 6-0, all by knockout. Turned pro in 1988, went 25-0 before he suffered that first defeat. Body shots there by McCallum.
Yeah, what McCallum did toward the end of the last round, too, was a little deceiving. He started to back Tiozzo up and snatch that body in between combinations to the head. Very effective.
A chopping right hand that did not land squarely by Tiozzo. Now Tiozzo again looking to find the range with that jab. Nice spin move by McCallum, going to the body now, and then upstairs with a right uppercut. Now McCallum beginning to open up a little more.
And not only that, Steve, but you see McCallum now the one coming forward. He's pressing the fight. He's not letting the younger, maybe stronger, maybe not stronger, but the younger fighter come forward to deplete his energy bank.
So we shall see if this was the game plan of McCallum after the fight. Looking to pace himself early and here about round 5, start to press the attack more. We'll see if it continues. Thumping body shots by McCallum.
Tiozzo's starting to not land as much with the right hand, not as clean when it does, and he's starting to absorb more cleanly. His defense is breaking down.
Both fighters getting good shots off, and both are connecting. Now the infighting as McCallum shoves Tiozzo away to try to get some leverage. Right hand, but a glancing blow by Tiozzo. Back comes McCallum with a straight right. Now a furious exchange.
McCallum, he's landing the shots. His are clean now, and Tiozzo's aren't. Although those 2 or 3 shots were right on the button. No movement from McCallum.
Tiozzo pouring it on. Again, the crowd reacting. We come up to 10 seconds left in round 5. It has been an action-packed championship fight.
Here we'll see some more infighting. Nice counter right hand and a left hook. This is the combination in the corner where he did land 3 or 4 clean shots.
Round number 6 as they touch gloves. The words of Hedgeman Lewis in the corner of Mike McCallum, former welterweight contender, who was once managed by the actor Ryan O'Neal.
See that? You learn something new every day.
There you go. Round 6 scheduled for 12 for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship, working in conjunction with Canal Plus in France. So obviously this will be a French-favored telecast.
Most of our replays will probably see all pro Tiozzo.
Fabrice Tiozzo mentioned his brother Chris, a former champion. His brother Frank is the co-promoter of this fight. You talk about keeping it in the family. When asked if it would have any effect, McCallum said no, as long as Frank isn't in the ring with Fabrice, but at times it seems like 2 men are fighting McCallum. Again, Tiozzo looking sharp.
He has a bit of a mauling style. When he comes fast, and he comes forward with a lot of stuff, but Mike is a real pro, and he knows how to handle this. This is where the experience and the workmanship come into play.
Hedgeman Lewis telling McCallum to start throwing those resounding body shots more frequently, and I think he's adhering to that advice. He's trying anyway.
Especially late, those body shots will really, really hurt and last. You get hit in the chin, you can shake it off. You get a good body shot, sometimes it'll stay with you for 2 or 3 rounds. Very painful.
He got the nickname from Tommy Hearns' brother, Bobby. Tommy used to be a sparring mate, but a guy who never actually stepped into the ring in a real fight with McCallum. Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard never fought McCallum either. McCallum landing with the left, missing with the right hook.
McCallum's jab is starting to take over too. It's not only setting up his stuff, but when Tiozzo runs and charges, sticks that jab out, and it offsets his whole fight and his whole charge.
Bobby, a little holding and hitting there by Tiozzo, cautioned by Joe Cortez. Tiozzo continues to come forward. He's got McCallum pressed against the ropes.
It was a nice right hand by Tiozzo, but he didn't follow it up as well as he could have.
Oh, a good right hand by McCallum. A lead right by McCallum. Tiozzo walked right into it.
They've been doing that to each other. Here's another comeback. See, Tiozzo comes back after his hit. He's a game fighter with a lot of heart, great courage.
2 relentless fighters. Again, another terrific exchange. But Tiozzo's getting the better of McCallum.
Right now, McCallum's getting the worst of it, and he got hit with a good left hook, and he fired a couple of shots back, but you can see here that Tiozzo is putting on the pressure.
As we head for the bell.
You see another replay here of body snatch, trying to snatch somebody on the inside. He's ripping some shots. There's a right underneath, then there's also going to be a left following it. He's trying to get the job done with his trademark.
And Bobby, through our translator, trainer Jean-Marc Perona of Fabrice Tiozzo telling his fighter, don't fight McCallum in the center of the ring.
Excellent advice, Steve.
7e reprise.
Round number 7 scheduled for 12 for the WBC light heavyweight title.
Something Mike's always been good at was when he has a fighter in the center of the ring, give some punches, step around them, make him miss, work, step around them, minimize your shots, and put us back to the ropes. He can't step anywhere.
There has been one knockdown in the second round. McCallum, he disputed the knockdown. Good left hook there by Tiozzo. Bobby, unofficially, how do you see it here about the halfway point?
Right now I have it 3 rounds of 3, the knockdown still being the 1-point difference for Tiozzo. But, you know, there was a couple of rounds where the first round was very close. The last round was very close. Tiozzo closed very well. Swing any one of those, and it's Mike's fight or a bigger edge for Tiozzo.
17th World Championship fight for Mike McCallum in the red trunks. Only the second for Fabrice Tiozzo. But you do wonder if age is finally catching up to McCallum. Tiozzo, 12 years the junior of McCallum at 26, and we're not really sure if McCallum is 38. He may be 40 or above.
Some nice combinations on the inside by Tiozzo. McCallum's got a little bit of zip taking off his punches right now, just looking to work, or maybe just can't throw as much as he wants to on some of those shots.
McCallum says whether he's 38, 40, or 140, it doesn't matter at this point. He still gets the job done. Well, he has been getting the job done, but tonight, Fabrice Tiozzo has other ideas.
You know, it's an amazing thing if you look at Mike McCallum, how well he fights at this age. Archie Moore was 48 years old and still had the light heavyweight world title. An amazing feat.
An opponent must test McCallum's age, go after him, and Tiozzo is doing just that. You have to admire his strategy.
Steve, he's certainly making the most of it. He's taking everything he has, everything McCallum has, and he's using what he must do to give himself a shot at taking this title.
Then again, most people who stand right in front of McCallum usually ask for trouble. You should use the angles theoretically against McCallum, but it looks like Tiozzo is getting away with it.
Well, he's got a good chin. You see he's got a good heart right now. His conditioning seems excellent. If he can keep this pace up and this pressure on and keep forcing Mike back and landing, it's key. He can't just keep coming forward. He has to land the punches. Then he may be able to pull it off.
The crowd once again in unison chanting Fabrice. Timeout called by Joe Cortez. Something wrong with the glove of Tiozzo. There might be a little gash in it.
It seems to be that there's a little hole in the front of the glove. Now this is a big timeout if they need to go get another glove. Who needs to rest more? Who needs to break? Who is it going to favor? The momentum swings. A lot of things can happen right here, Steve.
I think, without question, it would favor the much older Mike McCallum. Tiozzo just 26 years old, but they're going to see if they can try to rectify the situation quickly. Even I understood that, Bobby.
Yeah, that was kind of universal for me with the hands.
Joe Cortez is standing over and supervising the situation. Wants to make sure everything's on the up and up here. And they will quickly switch gloves. Well, this is something you don't see every day.
No, this happens very, very rarely. One of the most famous cases was when Henry Cooper knocked Muhammad Ali down and back to the corner. Angelo Dundee didn't find the cut. He made the cut. But he needed to give his fighter a chance to clear his head. And it's just one of the greatest stories ever.
Any strategy that works.
After all, this is not tea and biscuits. This is fighting.
Meanwhile, Mike McCallum continues to pace in the neutral corner. Here was the hole in the glove of Fabrice Tiozzo. Joe Cortez making a very fast decision. He says, get another glove up here pronto.
Well, when you set up for a title fight, too, everybody has a spare glove for just this type of reason if something should go wrong. And tearing a glove will help cause a cut.
That was the most popular man in the house as he was getting patted on the back and congratulated for having the backup glove ready immediately. So we're just about set to continue one of the longest round 7s in championship history. It was about a minute and a half delay.
Well, they got 2 rests for this round. I would assume that the younger fighter should come out blazing here and really capitalize on it if he can.
And there's the bell, and they'll rest some more. Through our translator, words of encouragement from the corner of Fabrice Tiozzo, telling him he's winning the fight. And personally, I agree.
You know, it's real close still, but I have him a slight edge, and if he keeps this up, we could see a tremendous upset, and over there, certainly not as big an upset.
Mike McCallum looking to defend his championship. His last defeat, August of 1992, a decision to James Toney for the IBF middleweight title. Here's a straight right hand to the body of Fabrice Tiozzo. Didn't seem to affect him that much.
Some tremendous countering, Steve. Tiozzo's a much better counterpuncher than I thought he was. He's really getting the job done. Even when he hits it clean, he does come back with punches.
Well, maybe they knew something over there in France.
I'm sure they studied the films.
Tiozzo has lost just 1 fight, championship fight to Virgil Hill, 31-1 with 21 knockouts. He is the former European champion who relinquished his title. He won that title right here in the Palais des Sports de Gerland in Lyon, France, where this fight is taking place. We're coming to you from New York. There's a chopping right hand by Fabrice Tiozzo. And he is landing with the right.
Yeah, after what appeared to be almost a full 3-minute rest, they almost 2 minutes with the break, and then the round right away ending. You thought they might have come out a little quicker, or at least Tiozzo, but took them about 1.5 minutes to heat up.
Body shots by Tiozzo. What's wrong with this picture? Fabrice Tiozzo, who won the European and French titles in this very arena, hoping tonight to win a world title. Back comes Tiozzo again after being banged in the head, counter-punching well.
Yeah, you see, McCallum started out with a few nice crisp punches, nothing real big. Tiozzo came back, but then stayed on him and made his barrage bigger and better than McCallum's was.
McCallum, at his best, crisp puncher, has a good jab to the midsection, does it almost casually but effectively, calm yet busy, shows no mercy. But again, to this point, Tiozzo seems to hold the upper hand, like there.
A good jab right hand, and the jab once again setting that up. Another counter right. Well, McCallum's not hurt right now. I think he's just tired of the combination of old.
And Tiozzo continues to come forward, pressing the attack and being effective in the process. 15 seconds to go in round 8.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Keep moving this board.
Here you see the one of the heated exchanges. That round, Tiozzo just refused to back up too much, came on forward. Here you see him again. He just charging and punching to take that round.
Bobby, what do you think of the advice being given to McCallum in his corner just now?
Well, I think Hedgeman Lewis, outside the fact that I didn't understand you looking good, you look good. I didn't think you looked good at all in that round. But don't fight with him boxing. Smart advice.
Round 9, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship.
The first thing they say that goes with age, though, is the legs, and he cannot box him without good legs.
McCallum contends despite his age, his legs are still good, and he still has the skills. He has struggled to keep his weight down the last couple of years, so he's happy at the light heavyweight level. Again, coming forward.
Excuse me, Steve. You see more spring in Tiozzo's legs. You see the fire. You see him leap into Mike, and Mike not really being as responsive.
It sounds almost like a bullfight now, with the crowd cheering every move of Tiozzo, and the decibel level getting higher.
I'll tell you, all they'd have to do is say "Olé," and I'd be sold.
Yes. McCallum's mouth is open. He is really sucking air right now.
Yeah, see, now you'll see McCallum. See him he just leans in and pushes him off. He can't even step around with his legs anymore. They just don't seem to have the juice in him. And he's got to push Tiozzo off, which takes a lot of energy each time.
We'll see if Tiozzo can take advantage past the midway point of round 9. The judges are from all over Hawaii, England, and Mexico. Komatsu Tomihara of Hawaii, John Keane of England, Victor Cervantes of Mexico. No American or French judge.
Here's a close round 2 where a late round flurry by either fighter could really do some damage in the scoring.
Tiozzo continues to land, coming forward. McCallum blocked that left hook, but he got hit with a whole bunch of shots.
It's also much more difficult to hurt a fighter when you're backing up. You're not bringing your weight forward. You're not delivering with leverage. And you're on the back pedal. It's a much more difficult way to hurting a man.
Not too many who can be successful doing that. One man who comes to mind may be Azuma Nelson.
Azuma Nelson could hurt everybody going in any direction.
Yes.
Sugar Ray Robinson was the best in the world I've ever seen him.
Now another timeout issued by Joe Cortez. The clock is still going as McCallum rests something with the mouthpiece again.
He got his mouthpiece knocked out, and the rule is that they have to put it back in his mouth the first chance they can get when they're breaking the action. But that's the second time he's lost it.
Doesn't seem to bother Tiozzo, who comes right back at McCallum. Final seconds of round 9. Tiozzo shakes his head as if to say, you didn't hurt me. Then he raises his hand up. McCallum usually shines. We'll see what happens.
You know, Steve, after the last round, just the way he sat down in his corner, Mike just looked old and tired. You know, I don't think it's a matter of talent or ability or pound for pound who's a better or was in their prime the best. Just a matter of age and too much on that body.
And as the round began, McCallum literally walked right into a straight right hand by Tiozzo. There's a good right hook by McCallum, but it doesn't faze Tiozzo, who comes forward again.
Right now, McCallum's going to have to be very smart. He's going to have to slip punches and land and be clean with everything. He's going to have to pull us out. Because I got him behind by a few points now. Tiozzo's just building a little lead here that's comfortable. He's almost to that point where McCallum's going to need some serious action, knockdowns and knockouts to win this fight.
Tiozzo being inspired by this sellout crowd in France. What a great feeling that has to be to hear that. Missed with the right. But he's got McCallum backing up, backpedaling throughout most of this bout.
He's just strong enough to throw enough punches to get enough into the punches to get McCallum, take him out of his game. And like I said, Mike just appears to be a little too much on the used up end right now, but you can never count Mike McCallum out. One shot to the body and he could snatch everything.
Tiozzo won the European title with a 7th round KO over Eddie Smulders in Lyon last March. After a good start, Tiozzo knocked down in the 3rd, but he came back even stronger following the knockdown again. A stop of the action because of that loose tape. And there's the Tiozzo family reacting.
Yeah, the tape could be something that could get in your eye. You could smack somebody, give them a little whip in the eye with that. That's something that has to be locked down and kept. It could also cut you.
The crowd obviously feeling that McCallum is doing it on purpose to buy time.
Well, that wasn't a mouthpiece being spit out.
Good little crisp left hook there by McCallum. And now nice McCallum with a right uppercut. McCallum starting to show something here all of a sudden.
They've done a fabulous job of the cut in the corner of Tiozzo. It's been dribbling a little bit, but it's never been a factor.
The cut man also the chief trainer, Jean-Marc Perona. Right hand there by Chris Tiozzo. Another straight right by Tiozzo, just when it looked like McCallum might be coming alive. McCallum working the body. Less than a minute to go in the 10th.
McCallum looks a little bit desperate here, and I see him doing some things that I know he's really bent on. You can see that focus, and he's getting the job done for the most part in this round. But once again, how much can he do, and can he keep it up?
This may be the first lull in the entire fight, but it wasn't for long.
Once again, you see the tide is switched. Mike's coming forward. Tiozzo looking to take a little rest, relax. Mike's sensing maybe he needs these next 3 rounds to pull it out. It should be an interesting ending.
Or a knockout, and Tiozzo has never been knocked out. Well, despite what the clock says, there's your bell. Mike McCallum, as we enter the championship round, certainly looked spent, physically spent in that corner, and who knows, we could be witnessing the end of an era.
And Hedgeman Lewis said to him, I just got to have more. We got to have more. It is our party. We can't give up our belt. Yet sensing that things are somewhat desperate. Right now, going into the 2 championship rounds, Mike needs both of them very big to win this fight or to even keep hope of a draw alive. You
can certainly sense the urgency in the voice of Hedgeman Lewis. So it is round number 11. Mike McCallum looking to hang on to his WBC light heavyweight championship. His 2nd title defense, his 17th title fight overall. Fabrice Tiozzo, in only his 2nd world championship fight, appears to be ahead.
The pace is slowed now. It's been a very quick pace. There's been a lot of punishment given and taken by both fighters. And I'll tell you what, one wonders in a close fight here, which this really could be in a couple of rounds, would Mike McCallum, if he lost, call it quits or come back to try and vindicate himself just one last time?
Or maybe he'll do like every other fighter, call it quits and then come back, call it quits and then come back, and so on and so forth.
It seems to be one of the idiosyncrasies of the fight game.
Nobody ever retires in boxing, they just unretire. Well, round 11 continues, and Mike McCallum had better get something going soon. Now Tiozzo on his bicycle, dancing around.
I wonder if Tiozzo's, nice combination by Tiozzo, but he's not following it like he had been. What had worked to get him to this point in the fight, he should still be doing. I wonder if the corner said, listen, we got this fight won, just stay on your feet. Huge mistake. We've seen it in the past, Meldred Taylor Chavez and a number of other fights where that just isn't the safe thing to do or the smart thing.
Again, Tiozzo pressing the attack. McCallum's getting a couple of headshots in there, but Tiozzo nodding to the crowd, saying, I'm all right. I got it in control.
See, normally McCallum would just, when a fighter leans on, he would step back, drop on his legs, bring up a right uppercut and hook. Here he leans in and just trying to shove some muscles, pushing off Tiozzo because he is tired, because maybe those legs just aren't there tonight.
And Tiozzo with a little showmanship, too, playing to the audience. Approaching 20 seconds left in round 11 for the title. Tiozzo landing from all angles.
Tiozzo's getting the job done right now through some nice combinations.
And breaking a smile as he backpedals, the bell sound.
Il est champion, fais attention, les carrés peu.
Yeah, you see in the corner here, Tiozzo, for the most part, moved on the outside, but when he unloads, he stays there for a while, does a decent job. No real big clean shots were landed by either fighter. McCallum, though, right there you saw landing a nice right hand. Once again, Tiozzo countering with a right, always trying to throw the last shot, which is probably what's giving him this fight.
And as Bobby mentioned earlier, they've done a real nice job on that cut around the left eye of Tiozzo, working on the nose of McCallum. And the crowd responding to Fabrice Tiozzo. As he comes out, they touch gloves for the 12th and final round for the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship. McCallum in trouble.
I would be somewhat surprised, Steve, if Tiozzo, with his youth and his strength and what seems to be a better gas tank now, doesn't come out and try and muscle and maul and beat the heck out of Mike McCallum, because he's got to want that title. Guaranteed there's nothing safe.
Could that be a mistake, though? Looking at the other side of the coin.
Well, he's been hit by everything Mike's had for the first 11 rounds, and he's walked into some big shots, got him clean, and it was no big deal. So at this point, I'd say go for it.
He's confident that he's got the chin to withstand any pressure from Mike McCallum. And you are right, because Tiozzo was pressing the attack. He stepped back for a second. Now he comes forward again. Crowd getting on McCallum for the push. Right uppercut that just missed by McCallum. None of these punches are phasing the challenger.
He's been leaping in with the right hands that have been landing against McCallum, and McCallum normally never gets hit with those things. Maybe a bit of the reflexes have gone too.
Again, Tiozzo almost dangerously playing to the crowd as he's in a clinch with McCallum. Now the exchange, and Tiozzo continues to dish it out.
McCallum's exhausted here. I don't think the punches were that strong, as the momentum, the strength that's left in Tiozzo is so much greater.
Watch the headbutting, says Tiozzo to Joe Cortez. Past the midway point of the 12th round, we might be witnessing a changeover in the World Championship.
Another big right hand by Tiozzo, and he's holding on, doing something smart. Get your count, get your shots in, and hold on.
Fabrice Tiozzo looking to become the 14th world champion from the country of France. And he may very well be on the threshold of the title. And he continues to play to the crowd.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's having a good time now. It would be a shame to see him hold that hand up there and get caught with something.
Wisely keeping his distance when he does do that.
Showing some good boxing skills, a decent pair of legs and a nice jab, some good movement, showing some style.
Well, he is certainly relishing, enjoying this moment with 30 seconds left in the fight.
McCallum, to his credit, is giving it his all. He really is trying. He's coming forward, but there's nothing really left there. Did you see McCallum's legs just buckle just a little bit? It's just fatigue. I think it's age. I don't think it's the beating or the power of Tiozzo, although Tiozzo is fighting a great fight. Once again, he's leaping in with that right, Steve, and he can't be stopped.
As we head for the bell, and that is the fight as Tiozzo goes down to his knees. Oh, you say the drama. There is the wife of Fabrice Tiozzo, and this pro-Tiozzo crowd in Lyon, France, celebrating the moment, feeling that Fabrice Tiozzo will soon be named world champion. Very emotional moment here in Lyon, France.
Well, I certainly believe he did what he had to, Steve. I think he took the fight. I had 117, 113 for Tiozzo. I thought he won the fight, even without the knockdown. He just had much more today, and that's not taking anything away from his performance. But Mike McCallum just didn't seem to have the old Mike McCallum stuff.
I agree with you, and but we always have to throw in that asterisk. Remember Foreman Schultz. Anything can happen. But we're not in Las Vegas. We're in the fight being in France.
Yeah, you know, I wonder about some of the decisions in boxing over the years, and I know the politics of it. I know how the game is played. I know we're in France, but the long arm of politics reaches everywhere.
So we'll see how the judges figure it out. Tomatsu Tomihara of Hawaii, John Kane of England, and Victor Cervantes of Mexico. But they are certainly confident over there in the Tiozzo corner of victory. And I got to believe, without question, that Tiozzo is the new champion.
You're up to the halfway point. It was still very, very tight. But as you got up towards round 9 and 10, you know, the lead started to get bigger. McCallum started to do less, get hit with more. Tiozzo just too strong.
Don King embracing the challenger. Tiozzo hearing it from the crowd, raising his hands in triumph. But it is not official as of yet. Again, the emotion all over the face, shaking Fabrice Tiozzo's wife. Very pretty. And just like her husband has a little tattoo going there.
Probably not a bear, though.
No, maybe a cub. Anyway, there is Mike McCallum, who was struggling with wind for a good portion of this fight, and you got to believe that Father Time has finally caught up to this man.
We're going to find out in just a moment.
So the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship on the line. The hometown favorite with the bear on his chest, Fabrice Tiozzo, Mike McCallum, Joe Cortez, the referee, ready to raise one hand.
Le pointage et la décision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds, we have a unanimous decision.
Pour Monsieur Tomihara, McCallum 112, Tiozzo 115.
Judge Tomihara scores about 115-112.
Pour Monsieur Ken, McCallum 112, Tiozzo 116.
John Dean scores at 116-112.
Pour Monsieur Cervantes, McCallum 113, Tiozzo 116.
Judge Cervantes scores about 116-113.
Fabrice Tiozzo, nouveau champion du monde mi-lourd.
The winner and new champion, Fabrice the Bear Tiozzo.